And action. My name's Andrew Priestley, and welcome to Multiply Your Money. And I'm reading from a book called The Money Chimp, which I wrote in 2016. And it's sort of been in and out of the top 20 money books for, I don't know, since 2016, January 2016. It's been in top 20 money books in the UK for that time. On the last three episodes, I was talking about spend less, save more, get out of debt faster, and that's really the promise of this book. That if you read this book, you'll know how to manage your money. You'll certainly learn how to manage your money, and you'll get out of debt. You'll learn how to spend less, save more, and get out of debt faster. But where did that all come from, right? The thing that I got worried about when I started doing this, I was looking back at some of the earlier videos that I'd done, and I don't want to have the impression that somehow I'm just this amazing guy that is amazing with money. I mean, I'm pretty amazing, but you know what I mean. I'm a workaday guy just like you guys, and yeah, I've written a book, but where did that come from? And I'm going back a while when I was a lot younger, and I was spending money. I had money worries. There was more money than months. Invariably, my credit card was maxed out. I had a couple of times there where we went to buy grocery shopping. There was no money in the account, so we did a card payment, and the card was declined, and that was pretty embarrassing. And I lost a lot of money through a business, right? So I know what it's like when it's really super, super tight. And I was fortunate enough to go and hear a speaker called Diana Matthew, who wrote a book called The Money Tree. And Diana basically was a very smart, highly qualified person who had a great job, and she got made redundant or retrenched, one of the others. And on the same day that she gets retrenched and she gets fired from this job, she's in a daze and she's driving home, and she has a car accident, right? And what makes it hard is it was a brand new vehicle. So she's taken a loan for a brand new vehicle. She has this car accident, and then she's in hospital, and then she finds out that the car's not insured. And the finance company repossessed the vehicle, leaving her with a debt of £8,000. She's got her credit cards are maxed out. That put incredible stress on her family life, and I think she lost her home. And it was just a house of cards, just one after the other, just collapsed. And what was fascinating to go and hear her was how she got herself out of that. How she actually got herself out of that. And that was absolutely fascinating. And one of the things that she said was spend less. And to do that, you've got to know, well, how am I currently spending my money? So I had all these experiences. And then when I started writing The Money Chimp, I read over 140 books and 43 courses and 300 websites later. That research backed up what I intuitively was doing and what I was doing to get myself out of a whole lot of debt and to start getting my finances back in control. And I started to get fascinated by how people spend money, what people spend money on. So in those days, I went to the National Office of Statistics and I looked up what do Australians spend their money on. And what came back was a whole bunch of data. But the great thing is that right now you can go onto Google and you can, in my reading from this chapter here called A Picture is Worth 1,000 Words. I did the cartoons, by the way. And basically you can type in Spending Habits UK infographic, or Spending Habits US infographic, or Spending Habits Australia infographic. And what you get back is, if you see it, if you click on the Images tab, you get back things like this, which is an infographic that just shows what people in the UK spend their money on, right? Which is really fascinating. And I also print out one for the US. Now you're going to have to play with the words a little bit, but that's the homework. It's type in what have people spent their money on? And what did the average Brit spend their money on? And obviously, it's looking at their after-tax income, right? So, it's usually household stuff, utilities. Like, for example, in the US, it's transport, entertainment, food, household shopping, alcohol, beverage, insurances, pensions, education, clothing, personal care, healthcare, miscellaneous, housing, and tobacco makes it to the big. Can you believe that tobacco makes it onto the list here, right? But it just sort of shows how the average income is divided up. So the average household income in the US right now is $49,638, and the average household income in the UK is $26.7 thousand. And what the research showed me was that the average Brit aged between 18 and 28 spends 130% of their average income. So if your income is the living wage 27.6 thousand per annum, and you're spending 130%, in essence, you're spending 35,800. So you're spending 8,200 more than your actual income is, and you're doing that on credit card. This is why it's get out of credit card debt as fast as you possibly can. But look, you can go and check this one out. But on the one I did for Australia, the household income was 642 billion, and they spent 2.7 billion on fruit and vegetables, 5.4 billion on chocolate, and 9.5 billion on dental. What an irony. They spent 10 billion on beauty, $9 billion on gadgets, 5 billion on fashion, 2.68 billion going to the cinema, 2 billion on education, and 0.78 billion on self-improvement. So, we can infer you can make better choices with your spending. Now, the whole purpose is not to give you information about how people spend their money, and it's really to give you a benchmark so you can look at what people in your country are spending their money on and say, okay, what is that? I look at my household, what is my household income, and what am I spending my money on? And to do that, to spend less, you've got to know what you're spending money on right now. So that's pretty much the homework, right? The homework is to do a little bit of desk search. Now, if you're reading the book, the chapter is A Picture's Worth 1,000 Words. And I'm taking it from the book, The Money Chimp. And you can join the Multiply Your Money Facebook group. So just go on there because there's a whole lot of treats and goodies in there. There's a quiz that you can take for free. If you do the quiz outside of that group, it's going to cost you £25. But if you go inside the group, you can do that quiz for free. And I'm putting up a whole lot of treats and goodies in there. I'm doing it because I want to, I really care about professionals, just having these money worries. I remember somebody years ago saying to me, Andrew, if you're so smart, how come you're not rich? How come you're broke? And that really went, ouch. It's one of those comments that just sticks with you, But out of necessity, I had to learn how to manage my money. And in those days, it was because I was afraid of the consequences. But today, it's because I want to manage my money. I like being in control of my money because I get to have more fun. And I don't mean I get to go party hard or stuff like that. But fun to me might be travel, or might be go out for a meal, or I can relax around money. Life's is a lot easier, and I equate that with fun. But anyway, that's the session today. I'm taking it from the book. It's right at the very front. It's the chapter called A Picture's Worth 1,000 Words, okay? And in there it tells you how to actually generate some infographics. That's really, really interesting. I'll hold that up so it's a bit too quick, okay? Really, really interesting stuff. So go ahead and try that and let me know. And please go ahead and join the group. And if you like what you're hearing, go ahead and leave some comments, some questions, and please tell your friend. See ya.